friend, it's Pat Sloan here. So we are on Tackle It Tuesday. Okay, so on the calendar for today, it says, Oh My Stars Table Runner. Well, mine's finished. I think I showed it to you. Didn't I show it to you? I think I showed it to you. But here it is again. Ta-da! And it's on my coffee table in the living room, which you saw on the tour, so you did see it there. But I didn't know if you saw it up close. And I did the scrappy binding, which I'm like obsessed with them right now. Obsessed. Scrappy bindings for the win. So there's mine. If you did a Oh My Stars Table Runner, even if you did it a while ago, show it. Show it, show it, show it. Do it, do it, do it. Okay, so this is Tackle It Tuesday, and my goal is I have to get this I have to get these all done. Get the rest of the blocks done. I am at this point, which I have, I don't know, 5 or 6 blocks here. And I need to get those done and sew all those rows. And then that way that can come off the wall for tomorrow, which is Block Wednesday, which I want to put, all the blocks up there. I also want to cut this guy out. So I'm going to cut this guy out. So the door banner kit. And I'll show you that in a minute because, well, I'll show it to you in this video. I want to switch one of the fabrics out. And the other thing I want to do is the binding on this guy. I gotta have some of these bindings have to get done, and some of the ones that need binding are going to go to charity directly and have them bind it. There's a group that has people who will do the binding, so they're already quilted. I paid for that, and they can do the binding and then give them to charity or use them for charity fundraising or whatever they want to do. This is one that I want to keep. We did this together in the last couple years. It was we did the thread spools. This is a free pattern from Wendy Shepherd, my bestie Wendy, but I love it. I love it. It was so much fun to do. And of course, they're Aurifil spools of Aurifil thread. I love the empty spools. They're my fave. They're so fun to have a few of those in there. I used one of my fabrics for the background, not a wide back, just one of the other fabric lines of blue. But yeah, this is going to have stripe binding. Here it is. Got the stripe binding already made. And so I'm doing this today. Okay, so I've got those, what did I say? How many things? 3 things. 1, 2, and then at least cut the door banner. So those 3 things. So the other thing is I do want to show you a few of the quilts that are done that I am going to just go and give them directly to charity. And I want to just talk about that for a minute, because one of the things for me is I've been thinking a little bit lately, and do you think? Do you sit there and go, I've been thinking? Or do I just do that? Is that just me? Do you overthink? I don't necessarily overthink, but I tend to mull things. I'll think about it and I'll think one way, and then later on I'm like, my mood, I think it's just like my mood or where I am with stuff changes. And what I was going to do didn't happen yet. So now I am reevaluating it. So I think more like that. It's more like a reevaluation of where I am with these tops or these quilts. They're quilted, but they don't have binding on them yet. Because one of the things that I've wanted to do is, like, some of them, I really like the quilt, and I kind of think, I'll hang it up for a season, and then next year I'll go ahead and give it to charity. But right now, as I'm filming this, and just before I filmed it, actually, I started thinking, you know what? I almost feel like I just would like a clean slate, where I would just like to go ahead and go, I think I'm just going to let most of them go. I have to look, but I know not most of them, but more than I was anticipating. Let me put it that way. I think I'm ready to just say, here, because I will enjoy them, but they're ultimately going to go to charity. And I've talked about this once or twice before, is that where I am in my life right now, I am making for the pure satisfaction, delight, enjoyment, hobby of making. The whole thing is just for me to make things, and then I'm filming and taking you along on this. But even if I was not filming, I would still be making things, even if I was not. It's just what I enjoy doing. And so my whole business right now is I make quilts and then I give them to charity, because I cannot keep them all, and I don't want to keep them all. I don't have a great, some I want to keep, but most I don't. I'm just making them. And so I've thought, you know what, I'm going to keep making quilts for many, many years. Maybe this group, it would just get them off of my brain, because they kind of sit there in the back of my head going, oh, I should get those bindings done, but I'd rather make new stuff. That's really what it is. I'd rather make new stuff. There's no purpose for them other than that they'll be given to somebody else that I don't know, which is great. I love, that's what I'm doing them for. But there isn't any need for me to finish them, like no deadline to finish them, to hang them up or send them to anybody. And, there's no goal, there's no deadline. But anyway, that's kind of where I am. So I thought I'd take the other. It's weird. Maybe it's weird. I don't know. Maybe you're like that too. I do not think I'm the only one like this. I think many of you make, and you do give a lot of them away. Many, many, many of you tell me you've given most of your quilts away. You don't really keep them. You make them and give them away. And that's where I am now, and need to shift, because when I was producing books and going on the road to teach and doing magazine articles and things like that, my quilts had a whole different purpose than they do now. Now I'm just purely making for the joy of it, which is awesome. It is wonderful. But I think I'm ready to go ahead and give most of these up this time, and then I can have I want this clean slate, rather than having all these stacked there waiting. I'd rather have them go on and create joy for somebody else. So let me just show you get to the camera. We'll just go look at that stack. So here's my hallway of quilts, and this grouping right here, not the top shelf, but, well, is there something up there? There is a top. Oh, yes, there are some tops. Okay, but we're not talking about those. We're not going to talk about those. So from here down, this grouping are all quilts that need binding, except for one, which this was something I was doing on the Sashiko machine, which I'm not going to finish on the Sashiko machine. See, unless I end up finishing, but it's not ready to have binding on it. But everything else is, and I already know this shelf here was going to go right to charity. But now I'm thinking some of this group here, well, this is the Barn Star, it's not going, because I want to enjoy that one on my bed. But there's some in here. There's some in here that can also go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a few of those that I'm ready to let go, and we'll just take a look at them. When I sat down to film this video, this isn't what I thought I was going to talk about for Tackle It Tuesday, but here we are. And I must love you a lot, because I am going to, these are all folded for the shelves, and that means when I undo these to show you, I have to refold them, because I still have another week before they go, to be picked up. So I'm going to have to fold them back up. And a couple of them are big. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So I picked 6 additional ones, which will mean basically two of the shelves. I still have quilts coming and going. That's just the way it is. They come and they go. And I might grab one more. Plus, there are some finished quilts that will also be going in this round, because I'm still culling down, reducing the amount that I have. I'm reduced a lot, but I still have way more than I need. It's just deciding which ones are ready to go. And there are a few that I'm saving for the Virginia Quilt Museum to use in the future. So, those are special ones that actually stay in this hallway. Okay, so, I've enjoyed making all of these immensely. I just now don't really feel the need to keep them. They can go on and give joy to somebody else, even though really my joy was in making them, and not necessarily using them. Okay, so this one was really big. This was one of the samplers, and it was a year-long project. I adored making this every single moment. Let me just move my coffee because I do not want to fling my arm around, which I can just see happening. So I adored making every single little bit of this, every single block. It was just incredible fun. Okay, so there we go. And the quilting is a wave. Let me just show you. So there you can see the wave. See, that's a really nice wave. And I loved, and it's got bubbles, waves with bubbles, see? And then the back was my wide back. So the big daisies in blue, which I think just turned out so darling. So everything about this I loved making, but I can give this to somebody else. So that is number one off the stack. Whoops. That's the biggest one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And you can go to my Quilt Along website and look at the prior projects, and you can see photos. Okay, now this one you all might think, some of you might just go, no, and maybe you won't. But this was the Secret Lives of Color, which was a special project that we did. And I also adored very much making this, but I do not need to keep it. I just don't. I really adored making it. It was so much fun. The quilting, let's see, the backing, let's show you the backing first. I bought this special fabric because it's all about color. You know, I did buy it in the dark and the light, remember that? And I didn't use the dark because I bought the dark first, and then the quilt turned out to be very light. And so, yeah. The Secret Lives of Color was a book, and we did the colors based on the book. So all the block colors were from that. And the quilting is kind of these little shape, this shape, repeat shape. I don't know if you can see it that well. Maybe you can see it on the front. You know, there's a lot of pattern, and it's sometimes hard to see. But, okay, so that one's going to go. That one will go. Okay, this, I really loved making this one. I loved everything about all the fabrics. This was I believe, a Block Wednesday that we did. I just adored everything. I adored the fabric. I loved doing the black and white checkerboard. All of it. So much fun. This one was incredible fun. But again, it can go. This one was quilted in sort of a like wind, you know, sort of a wind pattern. I don't know if you can see it any better on the front, but it's a really nice. It's a really nice. And then I've got extra pieces of fabric that have fallen out. I'll have to pair back up. Okay, this one was the smaller version of the socialites that I made into a butterfly, right? Into the butterfly. There we go. So did the smaller blocks, and then I created the butterfly pattern, or was somebody else? Somebody else may have done the butterfly, and then I made some adjustments to it. I think that's what it was. You can, yeah, so it was inspired. They did it in the Fat Quarter Shop group. You could go over there and look. And then I made some adjustments to it. And this has this really cool text print for the backing. Isn't that great? Look at that. So there I've got that one. And what kind of pattern does this have? Oh, I didn't show you the quilting. Here's the quilting. You see the quilting really great on there. It's got like a feather with some, I don't know. You can see all there. Okay, got that one. And then two more. These ones were just done. So this was the free fat quarter 4-patch. So I think it's, you know, it's got the Americana fabric, super wonderful. And I did sort of my raspberry red harmony wide back, and the quilting on it is some big, my long armor Karen, my friend, did it in red thread, so you can kind of see it on the pink there. Some super big swirls with feathers. I think it looks so gorgeous. She has such a great eye for picking the pattern. All right, and then the last one. And this is what we did with the drawing room. And I did this smaller, was it the smaller version? No, it was the full size. I can't remember. With my drawing room fabric. So we just completed this. Oh, wait a second. So here, you got to see the quilting. This is a real Art Deco. Look at the Art Deco on there. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. I'm hoping you can see it. Real Art Deco. It's so cool. And then I have the wide back from the drawing room fabric line. And so this is super cool. Yeah, and I think that one, either that one can go, or there's another version, another pieced drawing room quilt that I might switch them. Whichever one might be smaller, I'll keep the smaller one and let the bigger one go. So I have to look at that and see. Okay, my friend. So that is not what I plan to talk about, but I think many of us get in this point, because I know a lot of you also make a lot of quilts, and maybe you have some that you haven't been using for a while, and maybe you want some more space like me. You want maybe physical space or just mental space to, maybe if it's time for you to go like, yeah, I think I'm ready to let some of these just go. There you are. I do have a place on my I Love to Make Quilts. There is a page I built of all kinds of places across the US and even some in other countries that will take quilt tops that you want to donate, and of course quilts, and many of them will also take fabric. If you contact them, they might be local to you or not, but you can take a look at that page, and if I remember, I'll link it. Otherwise, it's at I Love to Make Quilts on there, on the kind of, it might be on the tip page, something, yeah, the tips and stuff and page at the website. All right, now I have to fold those all back up so they get picked up next week. But okay, then I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you getting ready, what I'm going to switch on that little banner so I can get it cut and have it to sew while I'm doing other things. Here's another one that I'm going to donate, which is a finished quilt, and I made it quite a few years ago, but you'll recognize like the checkerboard concept. So I did the checkerboards, and then I put great big flowers over top of it. So if you love to applique, this is a way that you could, take something you're doing and just sort of spiff it up. Do something like the scraps and then add some applique on top. So I thought I'd give it to you as an idea, but it's time. It's time for this one to go. It's yeah, I got a nice stack going. So another thing I did is I went through the basket of binding here because it had not been sort of cleared out for a while. And what I discovered, let me grab from here, what I discovered is I actually had cut this for the spools that I just showed you, the Aurifil spools. Perfect, right? So I don't have it sewed and pressed under, so that'll go over there. I also found actually a bag with no project, and then some others where no project. So those will go for the charity group. And so this is cleaned out. This now is things that I have on the shelf to do. I also decided, hold on, that I know I'm going to be giving a few more quilts over time, much over time, to the Virginia Quilt Museum to use for fundraisers. And I think this socialite will be perfect for that. The butterfly is just so unique, and the quilting is gorgeous. So that one I am going to bind. So that'll go back on the binding shelf. And I realized the one lower level that I thought wasn't what I thought. They were all tops. Those were those older tops. Do you remember I had the round basket that I wanted to take all the tops out of? That's what's down there. I looked at it more closely and I'm like, okay, so that's what that is. So I'm going to put a few more quilts on the stack for the giveaway, and then I'll just take the camera and show you the stack because, it's fun. Here we are. Here's the stack. So there's a bunch that are finished and then the group I showed you, minus the one that I'm going to go ahead and quilt and keep for the Virginia Quilt Museum. So that you'll see at some point on with them doing something. So there you go. That felt good. It felt really, really good. Let's look out here again. So these all need binding, and I'm going to enjoy them for a while, including that one. And this one I have to decide what to do. There's the canning jars and the Breakfast Club up there that need quilted. And then what I'm going to do, I think, is take this shelf and start gathering the ones that I know for the future will go to the Virginia Quilt Museum, so that I can just kind of maybe get 2 shelves of those for when they are ready to have them, so I can just store them here for them, and then they will be theirs. And otherwise, a lot of what I have now is starting to get down to things that I'm still enjoying, but you know, you never know. Like today, something just might be like, okay, I'm ready to let go. So the last thing I want to show you is I'm going to switch out one of the fabrics here for this banner. These are the ones that came in the kit. There's the 2 greens and this gorgeous blossom, or no, it's a polka dot, a scattered polka dot with the white on pink. But there's 3 pinks that came in here. And this light, the solid, is the biggest. This one is down the center like this. And then the darker is, whoops, shifting. The darker's at the top like that. So what I did is I went and looked around and I found this guy, which I think is perfect. Look. It's got some pattern, it's got the darker pink, and what I want to do is this. I will use that as the 2 outsides, and then this guy in the middle. So you get enough definition of the tulip, but I really wanted something with a little bit more pattern. So that is that guy. Okay, so my day didn't go, what I thought I was going to do, I didn't really think I was going to do all that quilt stuff. But, you know, when that feeling is there, sometimes you just have to go for it. And Tackle It Tuesday apparently is my day. Now, these things I'm going to work on, so I will show you the progress as I go along in different videos, but not today. We're going to wrap up today's, and I hope you have some Tackle It Tuesday items you might want to address, maybe take a look at something. And tell me a little bit about how you feel about the quilts that you're making. Like, what's your process? Because you tell me here at YouTube, everybody makes for a different reason, and there are many, many reasons that are out there. They're all valid. No matter how or why you make quilts, it is all valid. And we're all different. And so I think it's kind of interesting and fun to have kindred spirits that might make for the same reasons you are. So share and then go read the comments. Go out there and read the comments. And also thank you for subscribing. For those of you who are subscribers, mwah, mwah. If you've not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that. Click the little bell, which will give you notices. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.